All right. Hi everyone. My name is Anthony Jackson. Sorry about that. Hi everyone. My name is Anthony Jackson, and this week I'll be filling in for Ralph for this week's episode of OT Asset Management Weekly. A few things. I just want to make sure everyone can hear me. If you can hear me, just give me a thumbs up in the chat just to make sure our stream is live and there's no technical issues going on. All right. All right, let's go ahead and start. So, this week I am going to show you how you can customize OTbase for your needs or your company's needs. So we're going to turn it from off the shelf to something a bit more unique and custom. All right. So let's go ahead and get started. I'll go ahead and share my screen. All right. So out of the box, OTbase pretty much looks like this. The logging screen, that is. So let's go ahead and log in. I'm gonna be the admin. All right. And the first thing we want to do is head on over to the administration. You must make sure that you have the admin privileges set for your account, or either that or you are the admin. Next up, let's go over to the settings and let's talk about the appearance under the appearance tab. So from here, the first thing you want to do to spice up your OT-based installation is to add a background image. This could be something of your company or pretty much you name it, anything revolving around your business. We generally like to recommend people do this as the first step to make it theirs. So I found this image on the internet and I'm just going to, it's a production facility. I'm just going to put this as my background and save it. So once you save it, the background is now set. So that way, when you log back into your OT-based installation, you have a nice, pretty background going on. And so with that being said, this could be of your company, maybe a production facility like I have here, or something aligned in your plant, or you name it. And it's just to pretty much take it that well, spice it up a bit. All right. So that's one of the things we like to have our clients do, just to make things a little bit unique. All right. So that's the background appearance. So what else can you do here in OTbase when it comes to customizing? So let's log back in and head over back to the administration settings. So that's settings. All right. So now that we got our background image set, the next thing you want to do is customize some of the links. So right here in this section, you have your custom help links. Now, the custom help links can be used to pretty much, it could be helpful if you want to attach some of your own documentations for your users to quickly have access to. This could be anything from like PDF links to PDFs. Maybe it's something in your company that um, everybody should have access to, like a wiki page or some documentation, or maybe you made your own custom notes on how to get things uh, to and from OTbase. You can also add those links right here. So I'm going to quickly show you how to add a link. So the first thing you want to do is press the add button right here. This opens up the text dialog so that you are able to type stuff. So one of the things that we like to share here at OTbase is our handbooks. So I'm going to put a link to our handbooks from the Langner resources page. And before I press save, I press OK. And now we have a link to our handbooks. And this link is accessible. Let me go ahead and save that. So we have our settings saved. This link is accessible from the help, the question mark icon right here in the top right-hand corner of your OTbase installation. So once you've saved everything, you can go ahead and just refresh, and the help link or that new link should be there. So this is what it looks like. We created our handbook link, and clicking it takes us to our Langner site with all of our handbooks. And if you are watching, I'm pretty sure that it would be best for you to check out our handbooks. Yeah, we usually hand this out to everybody so you can have the latest news about, just OT in general. So that's one thing we like to put out there. So be sure to check that out while you're here at the same time. All right, so that's the custom links. Let's go back to there. So yeah, that's one way of adding some documentation or files, links to files to your company's resources that you want your users to be able to have access to. So that's pretty good to have. Another thing you want to do is to customize the maintenance notification. So one thing we like to do is if your company has specific downtimes that you would like to put out there, especially when it comes to updating OTbase, whenever we have an update available, you want to make your users be able to get that notification. And let me show you what that looks like. So we have a pre-formatted message already set here. So if I press show, it should pop up. Let me go ahead and press save first and give it a few, and it should pop up. And this will give you some insight on what your users should see during like specific downtimes of OTbase. There we go. System will be down for maintenance from 5 to 6 p.m. So you can customize the text that appears inside of this notification. Let's hop on back to that. Settings, appearance. All right, so far we've added a background image to our custom installation. We've also added we've added a custom link to our help custom links here. You can see that. All right. And then I've showed you how to add a system notification for all of your users. So that's one aspect of customizing. That's several aspects of customizing your OTbase installations that is simple and easy to do. And speaking of simple and easy to do, we have a whole host of other simple and easy things that you can do here within OTbase. So inside of let's move on over to the inventory side of things. All right, so let's go on inventory. Let's change the scope. All right, so let me get rid of this system notification real quick. Appearance, let's turn that off. All right, and jump back over into the inventory side of things. And let me refresh that. And all right. So to make things easy, because we know a lot of people out there in the OT space, when it comes to doing inventory, they are working on a spreadsheet. So our developers designed OTbase to pretty much have that same sort of feel going on. So everything is broken down into columns and rows, as you can see here. Now, the interesting thing about these columns and rows is that you're able to turn off which columns you're able to see, your users are able to see, and you can rearrange them. They aren't static out of the box. These can be moved and adjusted. So first things first, let's see about disabling some columns. So if I right click on any column, you'll see that there's a context window that appears and it shows you all the list of all available columns that you can use here. And they're all different depending on what page you are currently viewing. So for instance, I am on the devices page. And if I only want to focus on certain columns, let's say columns about the location, the device itself, and the name of the device and IP address, I can adjust my column view so that it shows that. So I could turn off the column categories. We can leave description, device ID, location, name. Let's turn off the network. And as you see, as I uncheck these boxes, the columns are pretty much being hidden. Let's turn off the vendor, turn off the type. You can turn off the stage. And you can see that we are now limiting how many columns are available for not only us, but also our users. Let's turn off the process. So we wind down our columns down to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 columns so far. All right. And then from here, we can adjust the columns. So we can reposition them. Let's say I wanted to have the model in the first position. I can drag and drop it to the first position. We'll have the location on this side and everything regarding the device. I want to see that first. So device ID can come third or fourth now. We'll put the description before the device ID. And the cool part about this is that all the changes I made to my columns are now persistent. So if I change the page and then later hop back, I still see that. If I log out, I like this background, and I log back in, and let's say several days later, I come back to it, there it is. It's exactly how we left it. It is persistent. All right, cool. And on the topic of devices, I want to show you guys how you can go about removing some devices that you want to get out of your inventory. Let's say for whatever reason that device is either decommissioned or you just made a mistake and want to remove that. You have these functions up top right here in this menu bar, and you can just go ahead and press remove. So one thing you can also do is decide how you want to remove these devices. And to do that, we can hop over into the administration. All right, and now we go to settings. Now, right here under device removal, you have the option to either label a device as decommissioned, or you could just delete it immediately. All right, so right now I have mine set to no, delete immediately, but if it was yes, let's go ahead and select yes and press save. OTbase saves those settings. So now when I delete my a certain device in my inventory, let me go ahead and it should label it as decommissioned. So let's take this first one. And I'm pretty sure you have to refresh after that. This first one, let's change the scope. Devices. And let's grab this first one and press remove. But before I do that, I want to grab its device ID right here. And that's W10.ca1. All right, I'm gonna grab that so I could reference it later. So remove, and there you go. It's asked, OTbase now asks, oh, would you like to decommission this particular device? And I could just go ahead and press yes. All right, so that device is now decommissioned. Let's go back. Boom. So now if we go over to our administration page and we can check out some of our decommissioned devices. Oh, you can see it right here, decommissioned. So we have one decommissioned. Let me see if I could pull it up. Camera. All right, so it's pretty much hidden from view right now. All right. All right, cool. And so now that we got our device decommissioned, I want to talk to you about some other things you can do with your devices. As you can see here, a lot of these devices are color coded. Now, if you want to make certain devices stand out, you have the option to change the color coding on particular devices. So if I go back to my administration and then settings, I can go under device categories. And in this menu tab, you're able to pretty much color code the different types of devices that you have in your install base. So any actuators will be labeled this color pink, automation device, a lighter pink. And if you want to make things stand out a bit, you can just click on that particular category and it'll bring up this side panel where you can choose the color. So I'm going to go ahead and change this to something super bright. So that way it actually stands out even more. We save our settings. You can either log out or log back in, or you could just press refresh and now hop back into our inventory. And wow, hot pink is a nice color that definitely will stand out. All right. All right. So far we've went over how we can customize our columns. We can toggle on and off the column views. We can reposition our columns to our liking. And also I've showed how to decommission devices rather than just delete them immediately. And now we can also talk about some of the custom fields that, oh, by the way, we talk about the color coding that OTbase inventory provides. So right now we can also talk about some of the custom aspects of particular devices, whether that's certain fields that you see in the device profile. So for instance, if I wanted, there was at our particular company, if our company liked to attach the size and weight or the price to a particular device, you'll notice that we don't have that field available within the device profile. Oh, one thing I want to point out is that the color codes remain persistent even on our diagrams too. So if you have a particular, what is this, an actuator, it remains that particular color in our devices. So back to what I was saying. So if your company, let's say, tracks the price and weight of a particular device, you can have that field available. You can create your own custom field so that it shows up within that device profile. All right, let me show you how that can be done. So from the inventory side of things, you can just go over to extended. And then from here, you can click on the custom fields tab. And this is where you would add your custom fields that are particular to your specific company. So like I said, in the example, if my company was tracking price and weight for devices, I would come here and add that. So let's go ahead and add that. Let's say price. I clicked on the add button, by the way. So price, we'll call it the name price, and the description will be the price of the device. Now the area pretty much defines the scope. So being that we are tracking the price of the devices, I've set the scope to pretty much devices. And we're going to leave that to free text. And free text basically means it's a text input dialog where the user can just type in whatever price. So I'm going to click save. And I'm going to add another field, and we'll just call this one weight. I clicked on the add button again. So this will be the weight of the device. And I'm also going to give this a type as free text, because the selection, let me show you what the selection values are. You can do with the selections. So for this, we are going to just add a few options, and we're just going to say light, just to make things simple. Add another one, not so heavy. Okay, and one last one. We're just going, damn, it's heavy. Heavy. And press OK. All right, so now that we have our, let me save this. Now that we have the two custom fields set, we can pretty much start adding a price and weight to our devices, because like I said, the scope is set to devices. All right, so let me show you what that would look like. So hopping back over to the inventory, let's say I want to grab something heavy here. Let's see. What? Something that's virtual. Oh, no, let's just grab, you know what? Let me see what we have here. I'm going to turn on the type. All right, now we can see stuff. Here's a PLC right here. I'm going to click on that and go to edit. And now we go to the extended section, which houses our extended fields. So for this particular PLC, we can give it a price of how much our PLC is going for these days. I don't know, $5,000. $5,000. Save that. And the weight, this particular one is going to be not so heavy. All right. And these, again, are our custom fields. And I'm going to go ahead and press save. And now when I pull up that device's profile, I'm able to see our specific custom fields. So here we have the price of that. That's set to $5,000, and the weight, not so heavy. All right. So, and the last thing I want to show you for today is how to set a specific view. So if you, let's say, for instance, you're always working on, I don't know, PLCs, for example, you don't want to have to always open up inventory and then have to type PLC in the type and then, you know, pick out the ones that you're needing to work on or needing to edit. You can save these views. So for instance, let's say PLCs in Unit 1, I'm using the search filters that OTbase provides. So I have my PLC under the type, and for the location, I'm just going to say Unit 1. All right, so every day I come into OTbase and I always find myself working on these specific PLCs, like editing them and rearranging some stuff about their data, their contextualized data and everything. So what I'm going to do now, I am going to pretty much save this view. So I have all the PLCs that I'm working on, and I can just click on Manage Views. All right. So what we are going to do here, we are going to add our Manage Views. All right. I'm going to give it a name. Call it Everyday PLCs. And I'm going to set the scope, whether it's private, meaning it's for my particular user only, or public, everyone at who has access to OTbase has will be able to see this particular view. All right. And I'm going to add that and save my current settings. So now when I go back to manage views, we have my everyday PLCs set. So let me show you how that would go about working. If I were to go ahead and just reset this like so, and let me log out and show you. Wow, I love this picture. I'm logging back in. It's a new day, it's a Monday, and I'm like, oh, I got to work on these PLCs again. So I will come into my inventory, and voila, I have my everyday PLCs that I can work on. Super easy to get to. So I don't want to use up all of your time today showing you about all these customizations that you can add to OTbase. I'm going to stop right here. And yeah, so far we went over quite a few customizations. If you guys have any questions, you can put them in the chat regarding the customizations that you can do in OTbase. And my name is Anthony Jackson. Thank you for being here today and joining me on this week's episode of OT Asset Management Weekly. All right. Hope you enjoyed. Have a nice day.